Welcome back to New Rock City, the show that brings you a brand new band each week with an interview and some music videos. I'm your host, Stephen Moss.
Hi, YouTube. I am your co host, Lauren Tiz. Welcome.
And this week, we have a band all the way from London, England. We have the band Healthy Junkies on the show. Guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, good to be here.
The first thing I wanted to do was just have you introduce yourselves and say what you do in the band, please.
Okay, I'm Nina Corson, and I'm singer.
Phil Honey-Jones, guitar and vocals.
Thank you guys very much. So how did you guys meet and when did the band start?
Well, we met in 2009.
8.
We met in 2008. 2008, yeah, we did. That's true. And we didn't really start writing just immediately because we were in different bands. But yeah, we met then, and it was a year before we started doing anything musically together.
Yeah, I mean, we met at a venue in Soho, didn't we?
Yeah, a venue called Punk's, not there anymore. One of those, as we were talking about earlier, venues disappearing.
Cool.
But yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah, I gig, but yeah, I guess we started playing in 2010, something like that.
As a band, yeah.
Gotcha. Very nice. One thing I found pretty interesting was on your website, it says that the band's name has kind of taken new meaning over the years. What does it mean to you guys now?
Well, it's with the sort of with the health scare that's happened across the world. I mean, it's taken an even newer meaning, like the idea of looking after yourself and health is like top priority. But we're basically junkies to music.
But it's also the mental health, they give you like Prozac or pills to fix you or whatever. And that's supposed to be okay, but it's not okay to, for example, like smoke weed or like some, like in Europe, stuff like that. So it's a bit kind of like, saying about the system, they give you pills and stuff and they make you addicted to those things. So you're kind of a healthy junkie to the system as well, and for me, that's what it means now. But to start with, it was a bit of a private joke. Like, oh, what should we call the band? Let's call it Health Junkie, and then laugh about it, and we just stick with it. But then by thinking about it later on, we're like, well, actually, it means that as well.
We pretty much always get asked about it. So as time has gone on, it's like
we're not promoting heroin or anything like that. Like we have to say to people, like, this is not what we're about, But it's more of a like the Sex Pistol, a bit of a piss take or something,
Gotcha. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get straight into your music. I'm going to start with your first album called Sick Note. What do you remember about making that album?
Well, I remember we were in Acton in a studio in this industrial area. And I remember the band hadn't been together very long. So we'd written a bunch of songs, hadn't really lived with them. We just went in the studio and recorded them. But we wanted to get something out there. So I remember writing some of the songs when we were away. We used to go away, like with Corsica. There's a couple of songs from there and sort of travel around. And I think we're in France. We wrote Manifesto.
Yeah.
So we were kind of traveling quite a lot and writing wherever we were going. I remember that. Jamaica, in fact, was one of the songs.
Yeah, because your daughter was living in Jamaica, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think we were traveling quite a lot.
But and it was the beginning of something, but we didn't even know ourselves it was the beginning of something. We just wrote those songs just because it helped us. It was like therapy, wasn't it?
Yeah, in fact, the first song started off as a birthday present for Nina's friend Lucy, who's actually just left. And she'd been in hospital and she had cancer, didn't she? She'd just come out, problem with her leg, and they sorted it all out actually for her, but at the time she just come out and we didn't know what to get her for a present, and we hadn't written any songs because we couldn't agree on writing anything before. But then it was like, well, let's write the song for Lucy, and it was like it's about someone else, it's not about us, and so we managed to do that.
And that's how it started.
That's how we started writing songs.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, cool.
So do you guys write collectively or is it one person? How does that work?
No, we definitely write collectively. We do all the songs together.
I mean, it can be like you and me. Sometimes you just like stream on the guitar and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And we just, come up with something like that. Or it can be with the whole band, we're just jamming with the drummer, the bass player, and we just write a song like that out of a jam,
Lots of different ways of writing.
It's like really like, it really depends.
We write all the lyrics together.
Gotcha.
that's a good way. I like it like that. It's two of mind. You know, if I try and do it on my own, it takes me forever. If we do it together, it's like we can find the path of the song a lot quicker and easier. Find a direction. Generally, we can agree on that.
So the first video that I want to play from you guys is called "Trash My Love." What can you tell us about that song and video?
It's one of the first songs we recorded with Adam Lewis on drums, actually, and before the album even. I was on the album, but it was recorded the first session we did. And so, yeah, very first recording session. And the video was in a disused, an abandoned bunker, sort of warehouse place where some friends of ours had been living, like squatting. It's an old studio. Wow. They had parties there and gigs there, big parties there. Anyway, they kept saying, you know, we must come and do a video there before they get kicked out. Well, they did get kicked out, but we broke in. It was all sealed up. We broke in with a mallet to get into this building at the top, completely illegally, of course. That's where you got all this stuff hanging from the ceiling. I mean, health and safety would not pass that, you know. Yeah. So that's the video.
Yeah, and then we had like a church. Like I had to wear a wedding dress in the street, and it was really funny.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love the wedding dress.
Cool dress.
We passed some like old ladies who were all in a bus, you know, probably from a house or something, and they were like all happy to see me, like, oh, she's getting married and stuff like, you know. And they asked me, are you getting married? I didn't want to spoil, you know, their ideas. So like, yeah, I am. You know,
I'm getting married. That's awesome.
That's a cool story. So here's "Trash My Love" by Healthy Junkies.
Trash my love, trash
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I want to take a few minutes to talk about your second album. It's entitled The Lost Refuge, because personally, that's my favorite album by you guys. It really showcases the band's diversity. But what stands out to you about making that album?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I guess that was kind of the end of the first lineup, TJ and Steve on bass and drum, because we had a lot of changes on the rhythm section. But we started the band with those two guys, and we did Sick Notes and The Lost Refuge with them. And by the time we did The Lost Refuge, it was kind of a different time in the band, wasn't it? It was kind of a changing turning point.
What happened is for the first album, when we didn't live with the songs and we went straight into the studio, for the second album we did. We were gigging all the time. Gotcha. So the songs had been well played and lived before we recorded it. And also it found a sort of, there was a darker edge that appeared on the album. And that was partly due to the dynamic within the band, because there was a power struggle going on. There was a struggle within the lineup that happened. So that shows in the album, but
that's kind of, this album for me is kind of part of the early days, this one and the first one, like the very beginning, when we didn't really have any direction and we were just doing what we wanted to do, and that's why it's got a certain charm about it, more than the other. I mean, I like the others too, but those ones, I'm very fond of. Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to put it. It's got a certain charm. It's very unique, and so to me, it's a standout album. So I wanted to highlight some tracks off of that. It still has your punk, the raw punk that you're known for, and in songs like Resistance. So that's the first one I was going to play. What can you tell us about that song and video?
Well, that was the first homemade video we did, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And nice. So yeah, we had a limited system, really hard to work with. It kept crashing.
But it was inspired by, the French resistance kind of thing, because being French, like for me, it was like very important to talk about those things, but also kind of not just the French resistance, just the resistance in the whole world, having to resist, to certain, like politicians and all that, it's a general feeling. And going a bit political, really, about it, which we've done several times. But I think it's important if you have a message to put across, to use your music for it as well, and we put together a lot of footage from May 68 in Paris, the demonstration, and
there was also explosions from more current times in the Middle East.
Yeah. And, also the riots, in France and in England.
We were actually lucky enough to have a bunch of live footage. He's a good friend of ours, Steve Isles. He's crazy about bands. Before lockdown, that is, he would go 6 nights a week. He'd work, go 6 nights a week to see bands all over the country.
That's cool.
And he'd video them all and have this, and photos. And he's been doing this for years. And he kind of introduced us to the punk scene, actually, and got us booked at Rebellion Festival. But anyway, he had been videoing our gigs. So the live footage is taken from his footage, which he put up on YouTube.
Yeah, and I like that because it's kind of DIY and it suits the feeling in the songs. This is exactly what it is, like community spirit, all standing together, and trying to resist against the big monster and, politicians or whatever.
We will not be moved.
Love it. Very cool. So just so folks at home can know what we're talking about, here is the video for Resistance by Healthy Junkies.
free, but I used to feel so empty. We are free, we are told, and I am chained, burning bridges, lighting up the sky. We are the resistance, here they come, burning bridges, lighting up the sky. We are the resistance, here they come. They tell you don't let put it down, and they will not stop till you die. They tell you don't let put it down, and they will not stop till you die. You die, you die, you die.
All right, and welcome back to the show. Nina, after watching that video, it reminds me of something you said in an interview once. You were quoted as saying this: "As a band, we hope to inspire people to think and to question society."
Mhm.
Over the years, that you've been making music, do you feel that people are more likely or less likely to be open to that concept? Like, how do you
I
feel that's
I'm
changed?
more likely,
More.
definitely more likely. I think
That's good.
people have more of a political conscience now, for sure. You know, with everything that's going on in the world, people are more aware about equality, you know, and injustice. And, you know, like when we started 10 years ago, I felt people didn't really care. Like in England, anyway, they didn't protest much, they didn't strike much. Because, you know, in France, we do that a lot. And I always felt in England, they didn't do enough, you know. And I think now people are kind of waking up a bit more,
That's good.
you know. I do.
So too.
I mean, obviously, there's still a long way to go, but I feel like people have more kind of, they're more conscious of it, you know, and you
Yeah.
see it all around the world with all the things that are going on, you know. I could just name them, but like climate change, for example, you know, people are more aware about that.
Yeah.
And then equality, you know, I mean, you had a lot of things going on, you know. LGBTQ, yeah, there's a whole revolution happening, you know.
Viva la revolution.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely there a lot more than it was 10 years ago. I tell you that there's more people are more prepared for that now.
There's a shift in collective consciousness.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. Because we're right outside of New York City, so like protest and politics is always a big part of daily life here. But I wasn't familiar on your side of the pond how it's been over the years, so that's really nice.
Yeah.
And social media, of course, the information's flying about like mad, you know. And we're also all going a little bit crazy. And we're talking about mental health going through the roof. Lockdown obviously is exacerbating that. So we're all getting a bit crazy. So there has been a lot of protests over here for sure. And then it continues to be.
It's almost also like through lockdown, people have been able to reflect a bit more maybe and think about stuff as well, you know, and realize, you know, things that they didn't before, maybe probably, but like
because you have more time on your hands.
Yeah.
So think about all these things, which is great.
Yeah.
Because people are like coming to realize just what's happening.
And not being lobotomized, you know, and like they're trying to do really. So, I mean, more often, you know, but
I think people are realizing they can make a difference, you know, collectively as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right on. Well, I want to play another song from you guys. What can you tell us about the song Sex War?
Oh.
Well, I mean, I guess it's fair to say that certainly in our early days of our relationship and musical relationship, it was definitely been turbulent. So we had our own experiences to draw from.
Well, like the song "Trash My Love" as well, you know, very much.
We do sort of throw in, you know, like autobiographical, and then obviously enhance it with fiction.
Gotcha.
So you never know where the line actually to draw the line, to be quite honest.
But for me, like Sex War is very kind of like cliche song about, you know, men from Mars and women from Venus, and that's basically what it is, like the battle of the sexes, you know, sex war, like, you know, between a man and a woman. And it's kind of a bit cliche when I look back at it now, at the lyrics and stuff, but it's cute.
It's really good fun to play. We play occasionally acoustically because it kind of works better like that, because with the band it was always difficult. I was trying to sing low, I couldn't hear what I was singing, whereas acoustically it kind of works. Yeah, because it's quirky and you know.
Well, you guys have a nice video on YouTube where you guys did it live and acoustic, so people at home can definitely check that out.
That was in the Netherlands. It was it's true.
Yeah. So here is the song "Sex War" by Healthy Junkies.
I'm never gonna pack my bags. Oh no.
I never really thought you would anyway.
I don't wanna listen to you. Oh no.
I never really thought you would anyway. Love stories always end up badly. Love stories always end up badly.
You liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater.
Nothing's ever good enough for you, my dear.
If you could understand my ways, it would be so.
You change your ways and you change your mind all the time.
The only change is because of you. Oh, it's true.
Love stories always end up badly. Love stories always end up badly.
You liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater. You're just a man and nothing more. You never get me, no, no, no.
You are a woman, and that's for sure. Carry on with your
Sex war, sex war, sex war, sex war, sex war, sex war, sex war. You never kept your promises, not one.
You make it up as you go along, you're dreaming.
You just wanted me in your bed, nothing more.
That's typical of you to say, you twist my words.
Love stories always end up badly. Love stories always end up badly. You liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater.
Sometimes I don't know who you are. Oh no.
You should have told me so before. Oh yeah.
I told you so the day before, for sure.
Yesterday you were out drinking as usual.
When I got home, you weren't there. Oh no.
Can't spend my life waiting for you. Oh no.
That's a shame, cause I had a diamond ring for you, my dear.
I can still have it if you like.
Well, I sold it down the local pawn shop in Kentish Town.
I should have known you would do that. It's so you. Love stories always end up badly. Love stories always end up badly. You liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater, you liar, you cheater. You're just a man and nothing more.
and welcome back to the show, everyone. Nina, you have studied theater for over 10 years, I read.
Yeah.
How do you feel that's benefited your music?
I mean, it definitely had, in terms of the stage, you know, the way I use the space on the stage and like just like persona as well, and just get into a trance kind of thing through the music, which
Gotcha.
I like to do, and get into some kind of I don't know, alternative state, I like to call them, you know, when you don't, it really helps for that, you know, and
Gotcha.
kind of get into character. I can just like, some people say to me after the show, oh my God, like, I was really scared of you when I saw you on stage. You're actually really nice, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what it looks like from when I'm doing it, but this is definitely thanks to the theater. Like, I couldn't have done it if it wasn't for those years in theater. I was so shy before, like, pissing myself about going on stage.
I'm very shy myself, so
you know, I only theater for that reason, to be honest with you, like, because I was like wanting to get rid of the shyness, and
Oh, that's cool. So it helps you kind of break out of your shell a little bit.
Out of
it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's good.
The next song I'm gonna play, earlier, Phil, you were talking about how you were really into like the psychedelic rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
And this song gave me like a mix of psychedelic with grunge, and I just thought it was so cool. What can you tell us about the song "If You Talk to Her, It's Over"?
Well, that's actually a good example of a song that started from the drums. We were in a studio and said, give us a beat, you know? So drummers and the bass player, TJ Tarantino, basically, he came in with the bass, and then we played the song, and Nina came up with a line, "If you talk to her, it's over," with a repetition bordering on the psychotic.
yeah.
No, actually, your lyrics on there, like Nina.
It's only 4 lines over and over and over. It's a bit like Kurt Cobain. That's why I love Kurt Cobain for that, because he loves to do that, doesn't he? You know, like repeat the first verse, and like, you know.
It's a great song to play live. We don't play it anymore. We haven't played for a long time, but we used to play it all the time and stretch it out and go full psychedelic. And it's just got that groove on the drums and the bass, which I love, you know?
Yeah.
And you can do what you want with it, you know, and just jam with it. That's what I like about it.
It was probably one of the first songs where we started to extend live. So that kind of gave you the room, that song, to take it down, bring it up, and just create something new on the spot live. And we do that quite a bit, but that was one of the first songs I think we probably did that with.
Very cool. I am going to talk about your new music, but I want to play one more of the older songs. That way people at home can get a nice mixture of all of your sounds. This one, though, it was actually kind of like my personal favorite of everything because it's so unique and it's so different that I want to know your thought process behind it. What can you tell us about the song Shine a Light?
Oh, that one. Yeah. I mean, I think it was a jam. I think
it was, again, same line. It was a jam.
We kind
came
of,
out of a jam.
Because when we do rehearsal, we just leave something that records us, you know, like the whole way through. And then sometimes we come up with stuff. And then that was one of the songs.
Yeah.
That I did, you know, you just did the guitar. I didn't have any lyrics, just did the walking lyrics on it with a melody, and everybody came in on that. And then we just wrote the lyrics on it later on and got inspired by the whole mood of the song.
Yeah.
And wrote the lyrics around that, really, didn't
It's
we?
a great way to write songs as a band, to just jam it. We often do that. And we even, in fact, the new album, which is going to come out, you know, next, is mostly songs that have come out from jams like that, where we've recorded it, taken it home. Nina's usually she's got like one or two lines in there, then we'll build a song, think about what it's and do the lyrics, structure it, do a demo, give it back to the band. Here's the original, here's the demo, and take it from. And then Shine a Line was one of those. But yeah, I love the song. It was a very moody song, and we didn't do many of those at the time.
Yeah, it's about the freak show. I mean, the lyrics, if I remember rightly, you know, it was about the joke, you know, of being into the industry. Sometimes people being fake and stuff like that. That song was about that, really. Yeah, shine a light, and I mean, shine a line. Sorry, yeah. And yeah, I said to you at the time, shine a light of the Rolling Stones.
Shine a light, the Rolling Stones was the kind of was that the series they were doing as well, wasn't it?
Well, very nice. So I'll go ahead and play that. So here is Shine a Light by Healthy Junkies. welcome back to the show. One thing I found pretty incredible about your band is before COVID, you guys were hosting like a monthly gig and you would invite bands to play, but the fans could get in free of charge. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, we've been running it this night at the Unicorn in Camden. We call it Punk and Roll Rendezvous, and I think it's our 10th year now. So a monthly event. Wow. We do a festival once a year, which will be on its 5th year now. The festival. Wow. So that would be 3 days, 30 bands. We have a host, a DJ, a guy who, what's the word? Compare. Bill Jury, Ian Jury's son, actually. He's with his bell, and it's just really good sense of community spirit. All the bands support each other. People travel to play. There's a good crowd there. It's just been a really good thing, and we play every month. We've met so many bands who have invited us to play in all parts of the country as a return favour thing. So it's a community thing, really, more than anything.
It's kind of built a scene as well, because people meet each other there, and then they invite each other to play, not just us. Like everybody kind of, form a community. Every bands get to know each other, and
it's a spirit that's good. It's not like the gigs where you have a band come with their friends, showcase, they go, their friends go, next band comes in. None of that nonsense. We don't do it. It's like everyone's there, everyone supports each other. It's the right spirit, The only thing about the free is that since COVID, the deal has changed, and we're going to charge. But I think we're going to keep it to £5 or something. So we're going to work with that.
Yeah, COVID killed the free gigs, man, for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now, what about you guys as a band? Do you guys have any shows coming up?
Yeah, we do about 25 shows between now and the end of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
15 different cities in the UK. You can see all the date on our website, healthyjunkies.co.uk, basically. But it's we got quite a few London day, and I don't know, we're playing in Liverpool, Sheffield,
Birmingham, Blackpool, Brighton.
Wow.
Yeah, getting about a bit anyway.
Yeah. We're not going to go. We can't really plan anywhere like outside the UK because of what's going on at the moment. It's hard to kind of travel or
Yeah, because it kind of changes from one day to the next almost,
But
So.
we'd love
that's true.
We'd love to do an East Coast tour, guys, so maybe.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to bring out next. I was going to bring out that you did recently do a mini West Coast tour in the U.S. What was that like for you guys?
So good.
That was awesome.
Oh, man.
That was ever, man. Like, seriously, yeah.
Pretty much 3 weeks for the band.
And I went to a pilgrimage of Kurt Cobain, in Seattle, Olympia, and all space. I just love.
I'm gonna say, Steven, your favorite band ever is Nirvana, right?
Yeah.
I love Nirvana too, but Steven is his favorite.
Well, when I heard about your pilgrimage, I wanted to talk about that because, for me, that was the band that gave me my epiphany moment.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like across the pond in your guys' area, but back in 91, 92, things like that, what was popular on the radio was Boys to Men, Paul Abdul. That's what was the top hits.
Everything sucked, and Nirvana came.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Changed everything.
So it was all fake. It was all poppy, and it wasn't anything that I could relate to. So growing up, we lived in cars. We were, living in crazy stuff. So none of that music appealed to me, and music wasn't a thing. But then when Kurt Cobain came and he started singing about real issues and things that were prominent in my life, I'm like, wow, that made a big impact on me.
Yeah. It was a game changer.
Yeah,
when
definitely.
Nirvana came.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I would have started the band if it wasn't for Kurt Cobain as well. To be honest, he was kind of my revelation too. As a teenager, and when I listened to him, I was like, wow, kind of blown away and never looked back really. And that's why we wanted to go to those places, because I wanted to get a feel of the thing he talks in his lyrics, and what he went through, kind of thing. And even though, like I said, I think before, you can't really get to know him because the guy is not around anymore, but you still get a feel of what it could have been like, and then
that you were there,
and then we went under the bridge. You went under the bridge.
I was just gonna say that you actually went to the bridge that he wrote the song about.
Yeah, and then we did
That's
like
amazing.
we did like the cover of Something in a Way, and in a way
I
that was
love that cover.
that was
by
easier
the way.
to do it. That was easier because we've been
It
there.
made sense
Yeah,
to do it, and
yeah,
it kind of just happened quite naturally.
yeah.
But it wouldn't have happened if we hadn't been there and
No.
got the feel of the place.
Well, I'm going to play that now, but actually I want to mention you also did a cover of D7. So you've done quite a few Nirvana covers, even on YouTube, like some acoustic stuff. But I want to play the video for Something in the Way. What can you tell us about that video?
Well, we used some footage for which we'd taken when we were in Seattle and Aberdeen and we also filmed, because we did it during lockdown and it was very limited as what we could actually do, but we went into the Dill Park nearby and also where you wanted to go, isn't it?
And we went to Devon as well.
We did, that's right. We went to Devon during a moment of where we were allowed to travel. There was a little window in September last year, and so we went to Devon and we found we just came across this crazy, it was an old creamery, huge disused factory, and so we spotted that and did a bunch of filming in there with phones, you know. I remember going to the pub across the road and we'd been in there a little while filming, and the guy, the landlord, he's very familiar with this building across the road from him. He said that there was this asbestos problem, and they were describing details how the effects of asbestos on the lungs and what it does, and we were like shocked. We've just been in there
for like hours,
and you were just there.
I would be like, fuck the asbestos, I'm going in.
Right.
No, but like, hopefully we didn't get near it. I think it was.
Yeah, we so far so good. We've been all right, but it was a bit of a scare. But yeah, that was just going again, traveling and taking in what was around us, and and we also went to a castle in Devon because we found this old Norman.
It's like a ruin.
Ruin, and
really?
there was no one was there because of COVID. So it was just us. We had this castle. It's like we may as well film, you know.
Oh my god, that's amazing! That's
awesome.
I mean, that's like, you couldn't make that. You can get sort of a location like that.
You'd have to pay for like the pounds, you know, normally.
Norman Castle.
We got it just
very
nice. So it worked out.
Yeah.
So it was just putting together a bunch of locations and
together with the Aberdeen footage and just trying to recreate that kind of like abandoned, lost place kind of thing.
All right, so here is the video for Something in the Way by Healthy Junkies.
I
All right, and welcome back to the show. Now, continuing about talking about your West Coast tour that you did, you started in LA, is that correct?
Yes,
that's right. Yeah,
Redwood, wasn't it?
that was first thing.
Yeah.
I was just gonna play the song "Last Day in LA" since that's where you started. What can you tell us about that song and video?
Well, we took some footage when we were in LA. We had a great time in LA, and Rodney Bingenheimer particularly really inspired us to go there. And he was playing us on his show, and he's played that track quite a few times on his show, which is amazing.
We met him when we were in LA.
He kind of inspired that song, I've got to say.
He did.
Yeah, definitely. So trying to just capture the vibe of the place at the time and had a kind of skate feel about it. So we actually threw in a bit of footage, didn't we, from a London skate park, because we only had a limited amount of footage from America. We had to finish the video, so we picked sort of sites in London, so that was one of them.
One of them was like not a beach, but like somewhere that looks like a beach outside London.
Trying to find a beach in lockdown. And I based by Dave Whitmore. He says, there's one in Rystwick, which is like right outside London. And there's this like forest with a beach, but the beach was closed because of COVID. So we had to go round the forest and we found this tiny patch of beach and we used that. I mean, you use what you've got. It's like,
there you go.
Trying to make it look like LA, you know.
I mean,
oh my God, that's awesome.
That's funny. So here's the video for Last Day in LA by Healthy Junkies.
Away from the city of lights, last day in LA, California high. I'm waving goodbye to the Hollywood nights. I'm up in the sky and I'm feeling alright. It's a Hollywood life. It's a Hollywood life. To the child inside, I won't disappoint, come and join the ride. I'm waving goodbye to a dead-end life. I'm up in the sky with my dreams on ice. I'm moving away from the city of lights. Last day in LA, California high. I'm waving goodbye to the Hollywood nights. I'm up in the sky and I'm feeling alright. It's a Hollywood life. It's a Hollywood life. I'm holding on tight to the child inside. I won't disappoint, come and join the ride. I'm waving goodbye to a dead-end life. I'm up in the sky with my dreams on ice. I'm moving away from the city of lights. Last day in LA, California high. I'm waving goodbye to the Hollywood nights. I'm up in the sky and I'm feeling alright.
All right, and welcome back to the show, everyone. I want to get in another song real quick. The first song I heard from you guys, as we were talking before the show, was Streets of Olympia, and I found that on TikTok. What can you tell us about the video for that song?
So that was shot in the old job center, wasn't it?
the old job centre near us in Holloway.
Yeah.
A disused, a big office space.
But the song was actually inspired by teenagers that we met in Olympia. When we played in Olympia, we played an under 18 show, and we had a lot of teenagers coming to see the show, and they were all kind of homeless you know, like living on car parks kind
They
of
were
thing.
in the car park, like
Yeah,
like
Bench
homeless
of the
and
car
just
park, you
living
know.
literally in the car park.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
They were so happy to see us. They were like had drinks in brown bags and
That was actually
smoking with
that was
them.
my favorite time in the tour. That was my favorite gig of the tour.
Oh,
That
that's
time
cool.
with those kids, you know, and we wrote the song for them. Really,
They
like,
moshed so
yeah.
much
That's
that
awesome.
one girl dislocated her collarbone and one guy hit his wrist, and they didn't
Oh
care.
my
They were
God.
so happy, you
Oh,
know.
They
man.
didn't even care. They were like so happy that
Wow.
They
you
were
guys
just
were there.
so,
They didn't even care. They
they were
dislocated
just
their
so
collarbone.
welcoming, you know. It's amazing.
That's
Dang.
awesome.
No, yeah, they were the best audience ever.
Yeah, so that they
Wow.
inspired the song, and the video. When we looked at the warehouse with Shogo, who shot the video and edited it, he had the idea of it being. He's saying, well, I kind of get the vibe, a sort of zombie-ish vibe, and I was thinking, how does that fit into the narrative? Well, maybe the idea that there was this, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but the idea you take the kind of living on the street to a whole new nightmare level. You have zombies on the street, and so I thought, well, it's going to look good anyway, or it's going to be fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's dressing up, and we love dressing up for these videos.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of zombie stuff off online. This is what we do sometimes, buy a bunch of stuff online.
But to be honest, those teenagers in Olympia,
Masks and stuff.
the teenager in Olympia, they had like a crazy outfit on. They appear in our tour diary, don't they?
Yeah, we got a tour diary on, which is documents all this, and they're in there, and they were like a theatre group. One had a long cigarette holder,
Really?
and even the names, they were just like it was like a theatre group. They were just amazing, you know.
Wow.
That's
I
awesome.
saw some of the tour diaries and I was just amazed. Like, that's so awesome.
Yeah, the tour diary was I mean, basically when we went to do this West Coast tour, Nina said, let's just film. So you did most of the filming. We all did a bit of filming and then patched it all together, and it turned into this it's now only available on DVD. We did have it online.
I was gonna ask about that because I was looking for myself and I couldn't find it.
It was on Vimeo. We had it on the website as a download. We thought we'll put it as a paid download. No? So we did this part 1, part 2, part 3, each section over an hour. And then, but I did it on DVD as well. So we had as a DVD box of 3.
Really?
So we sell that online. I took the thing of the Vimeo down because it was costing me money in the end, and all that was going to buy, I'd already bought it. So it was just like, I might put it on YouTube. I don't know.
So where can, like, for the fans watching right now, where can we see that?
You can get it. You can buy it as a DVD on our website, healthyjunkies.uk. Yeah, I mean it's on our website.
We might put it on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe we'll put it on YouTube anyway.
Eventually.
I mean,
Well, currently
loading,
we do have like little 15-minute little snippets. Yeah. On
Yeah. But like
Right.
the whole, I'd love to see the whole.
Yeah,
crazy times.
I mean, we wrote the soundtrack for that, which was our last album, Forever on the Road, which is like, I mean, it comes from that tour diary, doesn't it? Like the soundtrack.
It wasn't like we planned to do an album. It's just that we had all this footage, and it was like so long. It needed music and all the traveling.
I'm gonna get top up.
And so we just ended. And then during lockdown, Nina actually, as she was doing these clips, kept
She
saying
was the one that was like recording everything, right?
She
Nina
did
was the one that was like,
did nearly all the filming. We had a friend who did the live filming, Stevie Bray, and we all did a bit of phone filming as well, but mostly Nina, and she did most of the editing as well. And when she was doing the clips that you were talking about, one clip every day, whatever it was we were doing, she was listening back to the music, and it was a lot of it was instrumental, and she get any of these vocalized. She said to me, hang on a minute, I think I want to do vocals on this one. So, okay. So we sit down, she did a melody. And in fact, she did it on her phone and then said, here's the melody.
That's cool.
And then we wrote the lyrics.
Punk.
And then it was a song. So, and then it was like, oh, I want to do this one as well. I think I want to do that one too. Oh, well, I want to do that one. Before we knew it, we had an album. So,
that's awesome.
And it's the same with Dave on bass, because I dubbed the bass originally, and he was like, I'll do the bass. So his bass lines added so much to the whole sound. But that's how that album came about. It's like
very cool. Well, I
That's
wanted to
awesome.
play the video "Streets of Olympia" by Healthy Junkies. All right, welcome back to the show. So we talked a little bit about the shows you guys have coming up. What else can your fans look forward to from the band for this year?
I mean, this year it's going to be mostly, I guess, mostly playing in the UK, isn't it? So if you're in the UK, like
plenty of gigs in the UK.
Yeah, we're probably going to have more videos and singles coming out before the end of the year. So that's for sure, And
we've been recording another album.
Yeah, for next year, though.
Well on its way. We won't release it to next year.
2022. Right?
Yeah, we may release a single off it before.
Yeah,
and with a video. So, but more videos, more songs.
But we'd love to come to America. We'd love to come back to America, and
as soon as we have to do an East Coast tour.
Yeah, you gotta do an East Coast tour.
Please do an East Coast tour.
We really want to do that.
You gotta come to New York.
Didn't somebody contact us about East Coast tour?
Yeah, we had
somebody asked. Philadelphia, I think they're in Philadelphia way.
Okay.
And they got contacts, and we were waiting for things to clear. We will talk to them. Hopefully, come and do a.
It's for next year. Yeah.
Next year, if we can.
Hopefully, go to Europe.
2022.
2022, yeah, we got a tour. We do a tour called The Lips Can Kill. It's going to be our second time doing it. It's 4 bands. We all know each other. Your Mum, Polly Pickpockets, Toki Taboo, and us. And we've got about 10 dates with them. That's for next year.
Yeah.
So that's a tour, but that's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
That'll be awesome. Like we would love to go to your show if you come here. Like to New York area, New Jersey.
Yeah, if you're ever in the New York City area, we'll definitely.
We're coming to get you. We're coming to
you better.
So I'm gonna finish up with one last song from you guys. What can you tell us about the song and video for Tricky Situation?
Well, that is a song. I mean, it's basically a number of tricky situations in the song. The video, again, recorded by Shogo, another lockdown video. And we just had a bit of fun with that. We tried to recreate some of the tricky situations from the lyrics in the video. And we ended up with Napoleon having some kind of battle. We ended up in a church with some blasphemous priest.
Oh, that's awesome.
What else did we do?
It's a car with car. Right?
Oh, the car from above. Yeah, we actually first played that song in Los Angeles. Actually, I remember playing it because there's a line about the U.S. immigration in there. But it was also written at the time. When I wrote that song, it was Theresa May was in power, and it was all about Brexit. So that features in the song. And your line, Nina, you just like your vocal line over there. I love it. It reminds me of there was a song called Spaceman. It was a Levi jeans advert over here, and it's just a speeded up vocal, and it was the #1 in the 90s. But the beginning was like a drum and bass speeded up vocal, and that vocal line of Nina's always reminds me of that. It's got it gets in your head like an earworm. You can't get it out.
Oh yeah.
So
and you don't need to know the words because there's no words to it. You just na 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 na. You know.
Na, 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 na.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. So here is the video for Tricky Situation by Healthy Junkies.
Another tricky situation. Every time I seem to get lost in translation. Oh yeah, but you're right. I'm wrong. Too late. She's gone. I quit my job so I can take a long vacation. I got as far as the US immigration. Oh yeah, but you're right. I'm wrong. Too late. She's gone. I went to church in search of a revelation. I came back to a bloody revolution. Oh yeah, off in the head. No good. No deal. She's dead. You're right. I'm wrong. Too late. She's gone. Off in the head. No good. No deal. She's dead.
All right, welcome back to the show. So guys, the last part of the show, I normally just ask the bands, what would you like to say to your fans?
Well, we hope we're gonna see all of our fans at the gigs really soon because we've missed it. And,
God, we haven't we?
yeah.
Social interaction,
Social-
friendly faces, traveling.
And I really hope people, you know, I'm not saying people who go to our show because they've been great, but most people I hope aren't going to take live music for granted anymore after what's happened. People are going to go back to it and really be eager to support live music. And just, I'd like to say, just support live music, support your scene and your local scene and the venues and underground venues and just all that really.
Get on out there, you know, everyone's going to get out there, share ideas, talk to each other, enjoy the live music.
Yeah.
Start living again.
We're gonna get on out there.
Yeah.
Live life to the full, you know.
Let's party forever.
Well, very cool. Guys, I really appreciate it. For those watching at home, I'm going to have a link down below to all the social media links. You can follow the band. Tune in next week when we have a brand new band on the show. And Phil, Nina, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
No,
Thank you
thanks
guys
for
so much.
having us.
I had a blast with you guys.
having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you. I love you, Nina.
Love you too. Mwah.